What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the BodyCompRx YouTube channel. My name is Jake.
I'm Jesus.
Today, we're going to be going over the top 5 best chest exercises for at-home workouts. In the previous video, we talked about the top 5 best chest exercises if you did have a gym equipment. So if you haven't seen that video, go check that out if you do have access to gym equipment. But today is going to be all about at-home chest exercises. But as always, we want to go over the anatomy so we can understand where these muscles are and what they're responsible for, and that'll help us better understand why we chose the list that we did.
All right, guys. So just similar to last week's video, the anatomy of the chest, it's exactly the same, hasn't changed since last week. But to go over it again, the chest is made up of two different muscle groups, or two different muscles, I should say. The chest is made up of your pectoralis major and your pectoralis minor. Your pectoralis minor is deeper. So for that sake, for today's video, it'll be mainly talking about pectoralis major. Pectoralis major is the primary muscle involved in order to grow your chest. Your pectoralis major has two different fibers. You have your clavicular fibers and your sternal fibers. Both of these fibers are responsible for the following movements. The first movement we have today is horizontal abduction of the arm. That is if your arm's to your side, bringing that towards midline. Second movement is internal rotation of the shoulder. So that is if your thumbs are pointing forward and you want to point them backwards, you can internally rotate those shoulders. Lastly, we have shoulder flexion. That is raising your arms forward and above. That is shoulder flexion. All right, guys. So now that we know the actions, let's jump right into top 5 best at-home chest exercises. At number 1, we have dumbbell floor press.
The dumbbell floor press is very similar to any other dumbbell press, like if you were to have a bench at a gym, but we're just going to be doing it on the floor. So in order to set up for this, we want to make sure that we're retracting our shoulder blades, pinching our shoulder blades back and down. That'll keep our shoulders nice and healthy. We want to keep our elbows not too flared out, not too tucked in. Find that sweet spot right in the middle. And then as we press up, we're focusing on trying to get those elbows to touch one another at the middle.
At number 2, we have push-ups.
If you haven't already, go follow us on TikTok. We do have a tutorial on how to do a push-up starting at different points depending on your abilities. But for the sake of the video, just some cues for you. We want to make sure that we're not flaring out our elbows too far. We're keeping our hands stacked underneath our shoulders. Want to keep that core tight. And then you just want to breathe out as you push back up from the bottom.
At number 3, we have banded cable flies.
For the banded cable fly, all you want to do is anchor your band anywhere. You can go right across the body. You can go low to high. You can go high to low. It's really up to you. Just make sure that band is anchored. And then all you're going to do is make sure that you got some tension on that band so that way there's no slack. Make sure that your muscle is going to be working throughout the whole range of motion. And then all you're going to be focusing on is getting that hand across the body, across the midline.
At number 4, we have dumbbell floor flies.
For the dumbbell floor fly, we want to make sure that our shoulders are retracted once again to keep those shoulders nice and healthy. As we come down, we're going to keep a slight bend in our elbows, but as we come up towards the middle of our body, we want to focus again on trying to get those elbows to touch in the middle. That'll really focus on that horizontal adduction.
And finally, at number 5, we have textbook squeeze press.
For the textbook squeeze press, again, we want to make sure our shoulder blades are retracted, and then we want to be pressing our hands together all the way from bottom to top and focusing on trying to touch elbows. A little extra credit here. If you have an anatomy or physiology textbook, you get a couple of extra percentage of gains. Not confirmed, just a fun fact. All right, guys, that wraps it up for our top 5 best home chest exercises. They're in no particular order, but as you can tell, the setup is very similar for most of them, and all of them focus around the actions of the pec, which is why we chose this top 5 list.
Thank you guys for watching. If you have a different top 5 list, go ahead and comment that down below. And if you like today's video, go ahead and leave a like. But until next time, peace out.